As the calendar turns to May, it's time for another West Virginia football roster update from us here on the Country Roads webcast. Let's go. What's going on, Mountaineer Nation? Jordan Cruz back here with the Country Roads webcast. And before I get into this video, I just want to give you guys a quick reminder. Do us a favor, if you would, hit that thumbs up button, give us a like on this video. It'll help not only this video's performance, but future videos performances here on the channel as well. And if you're a WVU fan, be sure hit that subscribe button. Helps us and it helps you as it helps get more of this Mountaineer sports content out to Mountaineer Nation. Having said that, let's get into it. All right, if you've been following along our roster updates throughout the offseason, they've been coming hot and heavy, and they're going to be coming even more so now as freshmen and transfers will be enrolling over the next couple of months. We'll be releasing plenty of roster updates here on the channel. The main purpose of this one, just to kind of scroll through, show you guys the roster changes post-spring for the players that remain at West Virginia. I've already removed Eric Burton and Caleb Coleman, as you see me now in real time, remove Tony Mathis from the roster, as we know he is now entered the transfer portal. And of course, if you haven't seen a roster update here on this roster that I'm keeping track of on the Google document, it's only scholarship players that are listed here. So these are currently scholarship players that are already enrolled and listed on the university's official roster. That's when they're added to the roster here. So current commits, freshmen, transfers, etc., that have committed but have not yet enrolled and are not yet on the university's official roster will not see them here. So that's why you may not see some names that you're looking for. But this is the West Virginia roster as it stands now, following a couple of departures via the transfer portal, most recently being Caleb Coleman, Eric Burton, and then now breaking just today, the day I'm releasing this roster update here on the 1st of May, Tony Mathis leaving the Mountaineers, as you see there. Now 4 running backs, that will go to 5 hopefully over the summer with the addition of DJ Oliver. Pretty much 2 scholarship players deep at each wide receiver position right now, with your Y and the H, of course, being your inside receivers, your Z and your X, your outside receivers. Got 5 players on scholarship at tight end, and then got a couple of other bodies that could potentially be more fullback types in Colin McBee and Luke Hamilton, both as preferred walk-ons that, who knows, they may see the field some this season. Noah Braham coming in. Also over the summer is listed as an athlete, could play a tight end / fullback role. I think Victor Wickstrom, actually, who I'm highlighting right here, is actually listed as a tight end / fullback on the roster now as well. So it looks like they may be using fullbacks a little bit this season. I did a video on that in the past here on the channel. Check that out if you haven't already. Offensive linemen, not too many changes, I don't think, other than position-wise. I did slide Brandon Yates back over to guard. He's going to be an interior offensive lineman, probably a reserve at the center position. They just wanted to get him work there while they were sitting Zach Frazier out, letting him rest through the spring. So now that spring's over, I slid Brandon Yates back over to the guard spot where I think he'll compete with Jaquay Hubbard, and I haven't ruled out the West Virginia Mountaineers adding another interior lineman via the transfer portal. I think that's something they may do. As you look here, besides Hubbard, Yates, and Remick, there's a lot of inexperience at those interior line spots, so maybe they'll add someone to help them there, but they have been a lot of high talks about Sully Weedman, and I'm a big fan of Mo Hamilton, going to be a redshirt freshman this season, hoping to see him make the 2 deep. Shout out to Big Mo. As you see there, not many changes along the offensive line other than Charlie Katarinchik playing center now alongside Livingston as the reserves behind Zach Frazier. Not too many changes on the defensive side, save for the removal of Eric Burton and those other players that have transferred out. As you see there, 4 defensive ends, 4 defensive tackles, 3 nose tackles currently on the roster. Only 2 bandits, but also, I was looking on the official roster, and they have Taurus Simmons listed as a bandit on the official roster, interestingly enough, because I thought he'd been working a defensive end during the spring. But with only 2 scholarship players, who knows, maybe they'll try and move him back there. We know West Virginia has transfers coming in that can help there, mainly Tyron Bradley that could factor in at bandit. Will linebacker, one of the concern spots on the defense, just because you see the 3 inexperienced names that West Virginia currently has on scholarship there, none of which really have a ton of playing experience at this level, one of which being a true freshman in Ben Cutter. But I liked what I saw from Java Veras a lot in the spring game, and we know Trey Latham was a highly touted recruit. Mike linebacker, hoping to see Tyreek Austin Cave, the Miami transfer, spell Lee Koba some this season. Josiah Trotter, as we know, out for this season, unfortunately, due to injury. Also, Caden Bizer will probably see some snaps. He's a walk-on that we know of, played there in the past. Spear position going to be interesting. Hershey McLaurin moving there this season. Lance Dixon moved there last season. Raleigh Collins, a redshirt freshman that might mix in there. And I haven't ruled out a guy like Keyshawn Cobb and some of the other incomers, especially the most recent one, Anthony Wilson, may be factoring in for the Mountaineers at the Spear as well. As for now, that's kind of how the secondary looks. You only got about 5 scholarship cornerbacks currently. We know you got transfers coming in to help there as well, Beanie Bishop being one. And then the safety position, as I mentioned, Anthony Wilson's going to factor in either at the deep safety or the spear safety, as I just said. Right now, you got 2 and 2 at each of the deep safety positions following the loss of Caleb Coleman. From there, you have Aubrey Burks and Keyshawn Cobb worked at the Free during spring, and then Marcus Floyd and Christian Stokes at the Cat. And then your specialists on scholarship, you have a kicker on scholarship in Michael Hayes, but he's competing with a preferred walk-on in Danny King, as we know. Oliver Straw also competing with a preferred walk-on in Leighton Bechtel. And then your long snapper on scholarship is, of course, Austin Brinkman. So there's a little bit of a look at the West Virginia roster following some transfers out. Just want to provide you guys a post-spring update here at the start of May, as it will change here pretty rapidly, I would think, as freshmen and transfers begin to roll in here throughout May and June. Look for more roster updates from us here on the Country Roads webcast. So there you have it, Mountaineer Nation, the latest roster update from us here on the Country Roads webcast to kick off May here on May 1st. What are your thoughts on the current West Virginia roster as it stands post-spring, before the additions of some transfers that we know we have committed, as well as some freshmen that we know have signed that will be enrolling over the summer as we look forward to fall camp and building the 2023 West Virginia football roster? I'd love to hear your all's thoughts on it. Drop them down in the comments below. We really appreciate the interaction as we continue to try and grow the Country Roads webcast community throughout Mountaineer Nation. Having said that, as always, I'm Jordan Cruz, and until next time, let's go Mountaineers.